Here we go.
Hey y'all, Christian here with cheap beat up Elvis vinyl. Been collecting Elvis records for about a year now. Haven't spent more than $5 on any record. 45s, EPs, LPs. The more beat up they are, the more I like them. Today we're going to talk about the most hated Elvis record ever, I guess. People just love to dump on this record, and with reason, but we're going to talk about it. I picked up my copy, and I was glad to get it. So let's just jump right into it. The most hated Elvis record. This one right here. I don't understand why people would hate this record, because it's real. It's wait, what? This isn't the hated. Well, which one is it? Oh, you got it? Okay, thanks. Oh, it's this one. It's this one. Yeah. Record called Having Fun with Elvis on Stage. This is the RCA version of it. Interesting record. The background on it varies. I've done some research, read a little bit about it. It came out, what we do know for sure is it came out in August of 1974. But it was only sold at Elvis shows. So you could get it at the merchandise table where they sold the t-shirts and yo-yos or whatever else they sold. So you could get it there. That was in August of 74. But by October of 74, you could get it in record stores. Now, when it first came out at the Elvis shows, it was on, see, this says RCA. This is the RCA one. It was on Boxcar Records, which was run, Boxcar was the name of the merchandising arm of Elvis's stuff, which was owned by the Colonel and him and two other guys, I think. So originally it came out on Boxcar. Lots of different rumors, theories on the idea of the album. There's no music on it. It's just Elvis talking between shows. I like the back cover. Back cover's cool. You've seen this on a lot of tour shirts. Bands we use this. The Clash used this in 82 for their American tour. And then they just highlight the cities. And so these were taken from shows from 1970 through 1974. What they did was they took little snippets of Elvis talking between songs, making jokes, kidding around with the band, and they just jammed it together. So it's a talking album only. It also says here on the back, a talking album only. Now, some people say Elvis hated this album. RCA took it over and they started selling it for a few years, but eventually they dropped it from the catalog. Then when he passed away, they started pressing it again, from what I understand, and then slowly faded it out. I don't think it's ever been released on CD through RCA. You can get bootlegs of it. But some people say that the Colonel did it as a way around Elvis's contract, because Elvis was contracted for, in the Colonel's opinion, musical performances. So some people say he did it as a way to get around that, and they could keep all the money and not have to split it with RCA. Then, according to that theory, then RCA came in and said, no, we own all sound recordings of Elvis Presley, including talking, and then they took it over. Just kind of doesn't make sense to me how it would have been out on Boxcar in August of 74, and then by August, September, October, 2 months later, RCA was pressing it. I don't know. maybe there was a deal where Elvis could sell it at the shows for a few months and then RCA would pick it up. I don't think anybody's really going to know because obviously it's not specified in the contracts that are still around and available. Other people say that the reason this was done was because they were having trouble getting Elvis into the studio around that time, 73, 74. And according to the RCA contract, they had to turn in 3 records a year. And so some people say it was a brilliant move by the Colonel to have this record as a backup. And then if they couldn't get enough new recordings out of Elvis or new packages out of older stuff, then they just go, well, here, use this one. And that is what ended up happening. So some people say that it was a brilliant way for the Colonel to fulfill one of the 3 records that they had to turn in that year. Now let's get to the content of it. I listened to it. I'm not going to listen to it again. It was interesting from a historical standpoint. So I appreciated from that. You can hear Elvis on stage, hear how he interacted with people. It is a lot of the same stuff over and over. Him saying, oh, well, 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 well. And then I guess he would normally go into a song. Oh, well, 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 that's all right, Mom. You don't hear that's all right, Mom. You just hear a whole bunch of well, well, wells. They could have named this album Well, 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 because they must say well over 100 times maybe. But there is a very interesting part of this, about a 4-minute part where Elvis gives a little thumbnail sketch of his career, talking about the first record at Sun and how things went on, and then getting with RCA making the movies. That's very interesting from a historical standpoint. You've probably heard snippets of that in little biographies and documentaries on Elvis. So I appreciate it for that. It's about 37 minutes long. I wouldn't listen to it again, except to hear the little, when Elvis is talking about his career. He also does a weird little thing where obviously it was a thing they had worked out in the stage show where he'd say, there's one thing I can't do, and then the drummer would go, prop, 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 and Elvis would hit a punchline. And one thing I can't do, I can't chew gum and sing at the same time. One thing I can't do, I can't juggle it. Different little jokes, so you hear that was part of his stage show. I find those things interesting, but I don't want to listen to them over and over. So the people that hate the record, I can fully understand it. If this record, if in 1974 this record came out and I saw it in the store and I paid the regular price of a regular record and went home and heard what it was, I would have been upset because it's not what you think it is. You see this, and you see this on the back, Elvis concerts sold out. You think it's a live album. And then you get having fun with Elvis, all these live pictures. You think it's a live album. It's not. So I can fully understand how people would be upset with this. I got my copy I bought a lot one day, and it was 54 Elvis albums and 2 EPs for $100. So I got it for less than $2. I'm happy to have it in my collection. It's in pretty good shape. There's your inner sleeve, which is the basic 70s, maybe late 70s. It's on, it's a Dynaflex orange label. Now mine, on the back of it, it was owned by a gal named Shannon Lemoyne, and she bought it in February of 75. Now, I would have to think that Shannon Lemoyne got home and listened to this and wasn't very happy. But maybe I'm wrong. So that's the story of the most hated Elvis album in his discography? I appreciate it for what it is, but it should have been a bonus disc on a regular Elvis album. And they could have made it, heck, they could have made it a 45. Anyway, if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe. Apparently you have to hit the little bell to be notified. People are telling me that they're not notified when I put out another video. And if you like it, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. If you hated it, like and subscribe twice. Thanks, Elvis.
Okay, fine.